The awesome 90s, a totally rad era where the car scene was hotter than the sunroof on a scorching day. While today we drool over speed demons like the Chiron and Aventador, the 90s were like a rebellious teenager transforming the automotive world. So here are 5 great cars from 90s that are now forgotten. Back in the 90s, Jaguar unleashed a beast called the XJ220. This bad boy was a 2-door, 2-seater sports car born from a glorious partnership between Jaguar and the racing engineering legends at Tom Walkinshaw Racing. The XJ220 sprouted from the brains of Jaguar's own employees, who tinkered away in their spare time, dreaming of creating the next big Le Mans racing machine. And boy, did they deliver. After flaunting their prototype at the British International Motor Show in '88 and receiving rave reviews, Jaguar decided to throw caution to the wind and put this beauty into production. Over the span of 2 years, they lovingly crafted just 275 of these gems. But here's the kicker. Each one came with a hefty price tag of $800,000. Yep, you read that right. It was like buying a small country, but instead you got an insanely fast car. Now let's talk about the production version. They kept the sleek aluminum structure from the concept but ditched those fancy scissor doors. They also gave it a makeover, tweaking its looks and adjusting its size. Unfortunately, they had to swap out the concept's beastly V12 engine for a still impressive 3.5 liters twin-turbo V6. Don't fret though, this beast still roared with a thunderous 542 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. And get this, it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a blink and you'll miss it 3.6 seconds. They paired all that power with a 5-speed manual transmission, and you could choose between rear-wheel drive for that extra adrenaline rush. Back in 1995, the Geneva Auto Show witnessed a stunning collaboration between Idol Design and Lamborghini. The goal was to create a sports car that could rival the mighty Ferrari 355. Lamborghini had their P140 project in the works, but financial constraints forced its cancellation. However, years later, Idol Design breathed new life into the P140. With a Lamborghini-supplied chassis and engine, design maestro Giorgetto Giugiaro worked his magic. The result was the awe-inspiring Cala, a fully functional prototype that turned heads. Journalists had the chance to test its road handling and praised its Lamborghini-like performance. The Cala featured a bonded sheet aluminum chassis and was powered by a 400-horsepower V10 engine. Inside, the Cala boasted a mix of luxurious leathers and suedes, with comfy Recaro seats and stylish white gauges. And let's not forget the nifty Targa roof system, with detachable panels neatly stored behind the seats. Sadly, the Cala concept got sidelined when Lamborghini was acquired by Audi. But fear not, the dream of a V10-powered baby Lambo lived on. In 2003, the production-ready Gallardo hit the scene, also an Idol Design creation, with credit for the design going to Giorgetto's son, Fabrizio Giugiaro. Fortunately, the sole Cala prototype survives to this day. It finds its home in the Idol Design Museum, where car enthusiasts can marvel at its timeless design and appreciate the brilliance that could have been. And yeah, this car was also playable in Need for Speed 2 game. So, Lamborghini unleashed their high-performance masterpiece known as the Diablo between 1990 to 2001 in various versions, all stemming from the original Diablo concept. The story behind this beauty goes way back to 1985 when Lamborghini bigwigs demanded a new flagship to replace the legendary Countach. They weren't messing around. The first production model hit the scene in 1990, and let me tell you, it was a supercar to behold. With a mid-mounted rear-wheel drive setup, it packed a punch. Powering this beast was a 5.7-liter V12 engine, complete with a fancy computerized fuel injection system. It churned out a mighty 485 horsepower and 428 pound-feet of torque. Zooming from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.5 seconds, this devil could reach a top speed of 202 miles per hour. Talk about insane speed. Not only did the Diablo outshine its predecessor, the Countach, in performance, but it also upped the ante in terms of standard features. It boasted multi-way adjustable seats, power windows, and even an adjustable steering wheel. And let's not forget the killer Alpine stereo system, with the option to add a booming subwoofer. Throughout its production run, only 3,000 of these majestic Diablos rolled off the Lamborghini assembly line. They were truly a rare and magnificent sight on the roads. The Ford GT90. This legendary machine first graced the stage at the 1995 Detroit Motor Show, leaving quite an impression on those who witnessed its debut. And for the gamers out there, you might recognize it from its appearances in numerous video games. But sadly, the GT90 is often lost in the vast automotive sea of forgotten oddities. This mid-engine two-seater paying homage to the iconic GT40, equipped with a quad-turbocharged 6.0-liter V12 engine that churned out an estimated 720 horsepower and 660 pound-feet of torque. Mind-boggling, right? Even by today's standards, those figures are simply outrageous. Ford claimed a blistering 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 3 seconds flat and a top speed well beyond 230 miles per hour. To bring this masterpiece to life, it took 6 months and an estimated $3 million. Ford borrowed some components, like the 5-speed manual gearbox and double wishbone suspension, from the Jaguar XJ220, back when Ford owned Jaguar. The GT90's foundation was a lengthened version of the XJ220's aluminum monocoque chassis. But the real showstopper was the 90-degree V12 engine, ingeniously crafted by combining 2 Lincoln V8s and adding 4 Garrett T2 turbochargers. The result? A symphony of power and performance. Although the GT90 was a functioning concept, Ford never pushed it to its limits for fear of overstressing its delicate show car components. Such a shame, considering its potential. The GT90 was the pioneer of Ford's New Edge design philosophy, which later influenced models like Focus, Puma, and Cougar in the late 90s. This beast boasted carbon fiber body panels, a sleek laminated glass dome to shelter its occupants, and an attention-grabbing spoiler that rose at high speeds. And those knockoff wheels and doors that took a bite out of the roof. Pure eye candy, isn't it? The Mazda Miata, or Eunos Roadster in Japan, made its grand debut at the Chicago Auto Show in 1989. This first-generation MX-5 Roadster was a true showstopper and earned its stripes as one of the best sports cars of its time. Drawing inspiration from classic British post-war sports cars, it was a steel marvel with a lightweight aluminum roof. Under the hood, it packed a punch with a 1.6-liter DOHC straight-four engine paired with a 5-speed manual transmission, pumping out 115 horsepower and 100 pound-feet of torque. It was fueled by an electronic injection system and ignited by electronic ignition. And if shifting gears wasn't your style, fear not. Mazda had an automatic transmission option for a smooth ride. In terms of performance, the Miata didn't disappoint. It could dash from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.6 seconds and hit a top speed of 116 miles per hour. But that's not all. Mazda also treated us to a limited edition in 1993, with only 1,500 units produced. This special NX5 came dressed to impress, boasting a lavish interior with red leather upholstery and a host of features like power steering, power windows, cruise control, and rear spoilers. And let's not forget its sleek black exterior, adding an air of mystery.